Yes, people. Yeah, all of that. If you haven't been to Never Far before, here we are with obviously Ches, who didn't make it yesterday. He's going to be repping Chelsea and speaking all things Chelsea. Man like Winter Soldier, aka King Carter, if you want to name him by that. But you might see him in the comments sometimes, like Olu, and Mo's also going to be here as well. But tonight we're going to be talking about Chelsea and obviously Arsenal because it's a big topic. But
it's good that you've got a Nice fan on as well to talk about Arsenal. So.
No, it's Nonce.
Get it right.
Sorry, Nonce.
Get it right.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you're Nonce. Pause.
I don't think that's a pause. I think that's something else.
That's a no.
That's a no prison.
Crazy.
But yeah, man, we're going to be talking about, I put in the title, Chelsea's taught Arsenal a key lesson, and I think Olu might agree with this part, and Ches might think something else. Man United, get it all in while you can, pause. We're shocking, bro. We're shocking. I heard what Ty said earlier. I agree to some extent, but at the same extent, don't care. We're shit. Yeah, and we can talk about Man United to ease some Arsenal pain. And then we're also talking about Newcastle going under the radar for teams they are slapping all over the gaff. Hence, recently Crystal Palace. And
got them soon in Newcastle, actually.
Yeah. We got them in a couple of weeks in the cup. And also, even Aston Villa going under the radar. They beat a good West Ham 4-1 today. So there's some teams that are really just not being spoken about enough that is creeping up in and around positions maybe we didn't really expect.
That you should be worried about, ultimately, right?
Well, not even just us. I think more than just us. I think they're a threat to the top. They're fourth and third, in my opinion.
All right, so hold on. But would you not agree that whoever is like... There's three teams. So ultimately, if you're saying whoever's third, you currently would have to say then Arsenal, City and Liverpool should all worry about them.
In my opinion, whoever is going to be third will shape up, but I'll say there's not whom. I can't say who it's going to be Liverpool. There's no facts based off it, but to say Newcastle and potentially Villa, I'm not going to say Villa mainly, but more on credentials and evidence. Why would you write Newcastle off not finishing third this year?
Over who? All right, let's just give a cast prediction. Yeah. Let's give a cast prediction over who.
We'll have to wait and find out.
No, I can't say it with Chester over who.
I'm not diving into the what you think I want to start off the conversation of this?
Who in it? Liverpool, Arsenal, City, or Spurs potentially as well. We can.
Or Spurs.
No. Spurs. No, we don't.
You don't think they're last? I think they're last. I think they're last.
Well, we can dive into that conversation.
No. Nope.
See, already, look, I've already said one thing and it's already sparked conversation. This means already it's a good topic. Do you get what I mean? But anyways, yeah. Olu, man, your team didn't play well yesterday, man. There's been lots of conversation. You probably heard Dawood first, then you probably heard Lee earlier today, and then now it's your turn. To speak some sense, because we got Ches here. He's going to be monitoring whatever you say. Call that bullshit.
That's fine. That's fine. Monitor away, man. Monitor away.
What are you saying, man? Where do you want to start?
It's interesting how people are sort of looking at the performance and looking at Arsenal in general. I mean, I've seen a lot of people talking, say Arsenal played well this season, and I'm trying to rack my brain in terms of which games did Arsenal play badly this season, because I looked at the fixtures we've played. Sort of the first game was Nottingham Forest, which until Nottingham Forest scored, I think Arsenal controlled that game. Fulham, there were a few mistakes. Arsenal still mostly controlled that game. And I think the first game where actually you saw that we weren't, there was Crystal Palace, we went down 10 men, and most people said Crystal Palace didn't look like scoring, Arsenal controlled that game. So this narrative that all of a sudden Arsenal have been playing badly, it's kind of weird hearing people talk about this. And the funny thing about it as well is that when people talk about, okay, what's happening with Arsenal is the one thing that everyone sort of praises Man City for.
You're not us, bro. Don't start doing those comparisons. You're not us.
Did I compare? So, remember, just say Man City and it just triggers them. All I was saying
no, bro, it's credit in the bank. What you're trying to do now, people shouldn't compare. Come on, okay.
Daps, you got to let me talk.
Okay, go on. Don't get triggered. Please carry on. I'm not triggered. I have to pull you up when you're comparing yourself to City. Like, you're not City, bro.
Actually, you know what? Funny you say that. I'm keeping this clip.
Gal, let me ask you a quick question. How far behind Arsenal are Manchester United?
How far behind are Manchester United? Manchester United
from Arsenal, not City, just from Arsenal.
Bro, understand that if you're talking about Arsenal, you're talking about City also.
I knew you were going to say it.
But please, Olu, carry on. Right. So the thing that people say about City is, the
thing that people say about City is the idea that City start slowly and they finish strongly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not foreign to see teams start not the right form. The one thing we've seen about Arsenal this season is that actually Arteta has been really experimenting a hell of a lot, right? So Partey has played right back. He's played multiple different midfielders in different combinations, right? So in comparison to last season, where there was a very settled start to the season, where the same players pretty much played every game up to the World Cup, and even after the World Cup until injuries hit, you're seeing more of a rotation happening, right? So going into this Chelsea game, I thought Arsenal should be good enough to beat Chelsea, right? But the reality was that actually we saw Jorginho play instead of a fit Partey. Again, more experimentation from Arteta. The reality was that actually what Chelsea did was they played a game that was way better than we did on the day, right? And we were poor. And you got to tip your hats out to Pochettino for essentially raising the level of that team over the past few weeks to a point where he took on an Arsenal team, which on paper should be good enough to go to Stamford Bridge and actually, control the game for most of the game. The reality, though, is still that Arsenal finding defeat. So this narrative that Arsenal being bad is kind of weird because if you look at the games beforehand, I can't think of many games apart from the Spurs game where you could say Arsenal was being dominated, and then yesterday's game. And then there's been a lot of experimentation with the team as well, which everyone can admit has been the case. So why don't we use that logic and actually analyze performances and analyze Arsenal in that way, rather than just sort of falling into narratives based on that day?
Hold on. Why did so now based on what you just said, where is this comparison with City? I didn't say there's a comparison with City.
I said what is funny is that when people talk about City and City experimentation, listen, let me finish.
I am.
And so we've seen situations where, and everyone talks about Arteta being Pep light, right? Is there no scenario where he has looked and see what the faults were last season and said, actually, I need to do what Pep did, which was experimenting my team to find the right combination so that later in the season, when it gets to the business end, I have better combinations to play with.
So what you're saying is right. So what you're saying is it's not about. No. So logic, people. I'm not rattled. I'm trying to understand what you were trying to say. So you're not comparing it to City as far as you can start off slowly because business end of the season, Arsenal do that. You're saying that ultimately he's thinking, you know what, I need to experiment early doors like Pep did.
Exactly.
So you're basically saying Arteta's copying Pep.
And listen, what's the say? Imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
Absolutely.
So of course he's going to. If he's studying on the manager, he's going to copy that. And if he's seen there's a fault with his team last season, in the same way, when Pep had Bravo and then he brought in Edison, he's tried to do the same thing as well with what's his name, Raya. So you can see parallels in terms of what he's copying. So again, why don't we just actually analyze things and look at the things in the right
context? I agree with you totally.
If we analyze it,
with narratives.
If we analyze it, properly, we could say that Arsenal actually haven't really put in a great display of overall performance in most of the season, if we're being totally honest.
I would say that Arsenal
dominated most games.
More controlled, exactly. They've been more controlled as opposed to last season.
We're using controlled as the defensive aspect of all of it. I'm talking. I said overall. I'm talking in all areas.
Basically what you're saying, are you saying that you're not really too concerned about the performances, even though you can admit they're not being great, considering last season? So you're saying
The fact
it'll
you're
all
21
turn
points is
around.
impressive.
And Arteta's he's experimenting what you said, right? That's what you said.
Mhm.
And then eventually he's going to go back to what was tried and tested before and worked and help you compete. And then you're going to go on to compete and win. Because ultimately you need to win something this season, right? You can't compete again. And we come here in the same excuses next season, right? So how is he going to change from what's happening from a small sample size? I admit that. But let's say moving forward until Christmas, how's his form going to change and result in more wins? Because ideally, I was seeing a lot of talk for the game that Chelsea were, yes, it'll be tight, but we'll get over the line because Chelsea aren't really that good. And we've got players. Against Tottenham, I was saying a different excuse. Against Fulham, I was saying a different excuse. So there's a lot of similarities in the excuses that have been made. Apparently, Arsenal were poor yesterday. And then the Fulham game, it was And then the Spurs game,
in the Fulham game,
the wife got injured. So I'm like, I don't know. It seems a bit like somber in the performance yesterday. So what do you think? Do you think it will be okay in the end? Or?
So, like I said, Fulham game we made mistakes. That was the situation, right? The first goal was a mistake from Ramsdale. I think the second goal was also a mistake in the corner kick. But again, look, Fulham scored a corner. Given the props of that against Tottenham, I just think that basically there was an underestimation against Tottenham, and Tottenham essentially just blitzed us, and we had to find ourselves into the game or control the game, especially after Rice went off. I think yesterday what we saw was a poor performance, but I was in a group in the Twitter group and I said there's gonna be an Arsenal dagger because I just felt that when I just felt that Chelsea are not built to be able to sustain that lead. That was my personal feeling. I've always said this, that start of the season I feel Chelsea too small in midfield, and I think eventually bigger, stronger teams will overrun them. Anyways, the point was that yesterday I think we played poorly, started poorly, but the quality came through in the end. Obviously, made by the mistake that the keeper made, and I think that it takes one performance to start a run.
Don't know about that one.
It takes. Well, from the time the goal went in, I think
Arsenal won the ascendancy,
right?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I don't even.
Well, the goal, the second goal was a quality goal, right?
I hear the copium. I hear it. I hear it in your voice. I can hear it in your tone. It sounds like you want to understand what's going on, but you don't really understand what's going on. You're not giving me responses really, because you're telling me about you went into the game. Not really. I'm not going to sit here and act like we gave it to you and you did nothing. And Saka's cross wasn't a brilliant cross for the assist for Trossard's goal. But let's not act like even after he scored the first goal, it didn't look like you were going to get back in that game. It was just more of a case of Chelsea. Everyone was looking at Chelsea going, they look a bit flat here. They look like they're about to concede the game because you can see the heads go down. And in any sport anybody's played, once you lose 1-2 points, now your whole game changes. And now you've gone down a set. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So are you saying Arsenal didn't work the goal that Chelsea allowed Arsenal to score? Is that what you're saying?
I think it was more of a case of you played a team that was more competent, who had a bit more experience in that team. I don't think we get a draw.
So you don't think?
What you just said there, what you actually just said there. Listen, by the way, first and foremost, Arsenal are allowed a bad day at the office. Yeah, right. We've had them. Trust me, Wolves, you lot, bad days at the office, right? Secondly, I will say Chelsea had a good day at the office for 75 minutes, 70 minutes. Chelsea, were very good. Arsenal had a bad day, but if I'm being real, I don't think Arsenal. I've seen Arsenal when they score one goal and it looks like, here we go, they're going to score another one soon. At no point you got the second goal, so applause for that. But I don't think you did work yourself back into that game. I think ultimately Chelsea just looked like they ran themselves into the ground. And then the subs weren't, and then you lot took advantage of it. But I don't think Arsenal worked themselves back into that game. Like I said, I've seen Arsenal do that. That wasn't an Arsenal team working themselves back into the game. Chelsea played into your very on the day average hands, and you took advantage of it. Like I wouldn't
credit to Arsenal's mentality. Though.
I think, So I'll say this. So go on.
I was going to say, like, based on what Daps was saying, like credit to Arsenal mentality, because it shows they've come a long way since bottling top four and all that stuff, and backing 4-1 and all that. But they've come a long way since those patterns. And they came, they got a draw against Chelsea at home, so away from home, so it's not.
You know what? Yeah,
not terrible.
Overall, I wrote Chelsea taught Arsenal a key lesson. That key lesson, which I haven't even heard yet from a single, except one fan as it goes. bruv, you got to talk to be humble, bruv. Again, you got humbled. That game humbled you, man. You, man. When I say you, man, I mean I don't mean all of you, and I don't mean directly you, Olu, yeah. But before this, me, Mo, Daps, etc., on the stream, yeah. That's one stream. Before then, even for myself, like, but as the fans, every single one of you lot thought you were gonna go and smoke Chelsea, and it goes to show that you lot got served some humble pie. It was a humbling at the end of the day, and it's not a bad thing. It just means don't get complacent. And I think every team gets complacent during the season. Yeah. And you're. It's very fine to have chess. I have it all the time, bro, and I go and lose. I don't care. I'll do it again. Yeah, but I'm just saying, in terms of the team, I think they've been humbled quite a bit. Knowing after that City win, maybe you got ahead of yourselves, and you know you wrote off Chelsea a little bit, but. You know, I think that's a key lesson in a season is to be humble with it before you go and run away with it. Because before this, when you beat City, you know what the fan base was saying after the Man City game. Not just fans, but remember what they said about the players said about the fans of last season. When the fans started believing that they could go win the league, they believed it, and then they started believing up. When the fan base started, you know, getting doubts, they started getting doubts. So if that means the fans got humbled, that must mean the team also gonna end up being a bit humbled, which could be a good thing in hindsight.
Can I just say something to Olu? Listen, the problem Arsenal fans need to understand, you're not that guy yet. You're not Manchester City. You're not Barcelona of 2009. You aren't that guy.
It was reasonable to think you'd beat them, though. It was reasonable.
Like, you need to say, yes. But the difference is, yes, you can be confident. You can be the better team, and you can think, yeah, I'm the better team. But the way that someone said, even if it's a close game, it'll be very comfortable. You're not that guy yet. You still struggle against big teams away from home. You're not that team. Last season, you still struggled away from home against big teams. You struggled against Manchester United, didn't you lose?
We lost
season, though.
Against Liverpool. You did.
Oh, if you lost, you struggled. Sorry, if you lose, you struggled.
No. I think let's do it. Let's be real.
Okay, let me finish this and then I'll let you talk.
Did you get 3 points? Did you get 3?
Some Arsenal fans, Some Arsenal fans go to every game thinking that will win the game.
We struggled against Wolves. If you didn't pick up 1 point, then it was a struggle. You can't say you didn't struggle, bro. Come on.
We're not saying. Oh, look, wait. I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying some Arsenal fans talk to other teams like they are superior in every game. Like in every game. Right?
Okay.
Even some Manchester City fans don't do that. Like when they went to play against Real Madrid last year, they said, "No, I don't think we're favorites." Arsenal fans play against every team, and I'm hearing this. I'm hearing this from Arsenal fans, the majority, all the time. We are better than this team. We're gonna smoke these guys. Spurs are walkovers. No, we are better than this. Man City without Rodri will win. This and that. You gotta be a little bit humble when you talk. Know that your players are still you're still in the second year. You're not at the end of the line. Man City did it years and years until they won the Champions League.
But Mo, here's the thing. Listen, before the Brighton game, I was here going, I don't know why people are saying we're going to smoke Brighton. And that was at home.
You did.
I still look at teams like that and go, do you know what? Because against Arsenal and Wolves, I got humbled. We all get humbled.
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal fans think they can.
Say we didn't. Come on. So back to the point, Olu. So you lost at Old Trafford last season, but you didn't struggle.
No. So let me say why I said that. When we played Man City, we struggled. The reason why I said we struggled.
I'm sorry.
Can I talk?
You can. You're allowed.
When we played Man City last season, we struggled.
Can I laugh on mute? Do you mind if I laugh on mute?
Laugh on mute. There was no point in that game against Man City. I'll let you go.
Don't let them do this.
That's
cool. I'm always cool with this. I'm cool with this. So, okay, let me ask you a question. Let me personalize it. Mo, let me personalize it for you. Did Inter struggle with Man City last year in the Champions League final?
We definitely struggled, of course.
So you at that point you felt that Inter weren't in the game.
Man City won the game and still struggled.
Answer a question for me. Did Inter struggle? Did Inter struggle in the game against Man City?
Yes,
you thought Inter were never in the game. So you thought Inter were never in the game against Man City last year.
That struggle doesn't mean that we're never in the game. What does that mean?
Hold on, Olu, let's break down the struggle. Come on, bro. If you
I will find the definition of struggle.
You are redefining struggle in the dictionary of Oxford.
You
are literally redefining
you know what?
in Oxford dictionary.
We lost the game.
Find the definition. Olu, find the definition. That's a valid point. Let me find the definition.
The game. By definition, you struggle. Because if you didn't struggle, you wouldn't have lost.
So
Bruno struggled to beat Everton.
Can I speak on it? Can I speak since I was there?
Having a difficulty to handling or coping with.
How did you handle getting 3 points?
Against
How did you handle getting 1 point?
You're talking about the results. I'm saying if you watch the game against Man United, it was a back and forth game. It wasn't a game where Man United
what game you dominated the game,
right?
No, what's the game?
Old Trafford.
No.
At Old Trafford.
Olu, hold on. Olu, right. So we have to, if we're talking about struggle,
Olu,
if we're talking about struggle, right, you have to look at what the aim of what you're doing is, right? Because ultimately, the aim of a game of football, possession's beautiful, all of that's beautiful, back and forth's beautiful, all of that great. The aim of everything in the 95 minutes or however long the game is, the aim is to pick up 3 or 1 point. The aim is never to come with 0 points. Never. 1 point or 3 points. So that was the aim of that game of football, right? Yes, you might have done things, but how did you do at getting 1 or 3 points in that game?
So we didn't win the game, but you're saying struggled. I am saying to you, if Man City go and batter a team for 90 minutes and you lose 1-0, would you say you struggle to win?
Yes, because we didn't win, bro.
Never mind.
Let me button because I was
struggling to put it in the back of the net.
I'm struggling to get what you're saying. I'll be honest.
Exactly. I'll be quiet now.
No, I get all the points.
I was there at the game, yeah.
No. It's cool.
We talked about a game a year ago. This is mad.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's cool.
Go ahead.
It's cool.
I get your point, Olo, but you're actually wrong because you didn't struggle only to put the ball at the back of the net. You had no chances created. Go ahead, Cass. I'm sorry.
Oh my word. Olu, I was at the game, yeah, and I know how. And this is why I can say, when you're watching TV to the game, it's different because in the atmosphere of in the game, there was no point in that game bar the first 10 minutes. To be fair, did we feel that you was gonna come beat us? I'm not even joking. I remember that game like it was night and day. Even the Liverpool game, from the first minute, didn't think Liverpool were going to beat us. As soon as Martinez barred Salah, he said, yeah, you know what, we're winning this. Same with Arsenal. Bro, if I remember, you had so many long shots that went over the bar. So many. You had a lot of possession.
How many chances did Man United have in the game?
Struggle doesn't always mean possession. Struggle means you can even struggle to score. You struggled to score, G. You actually...
Yes, that's the difference. That's the difference.
Go to your goal again. It was a struggle goal, bro. You struggled.
But that's the difference. See, we're moving the goalpost. We're moving the goalpost.
We're talking about a game a year ago, to be fair. We should probably move on.
Anyways. So when it comes to your team, yeah, exactly. You called it controlled. You call that control. Some others might also call that struggle because you ain't battering teams, are you? It's control, but yet you're struggling to score a lot of goals compared to last year. So what one do you want to go with? It can mean all different sort of things. I'm only gonna comment because you spoke about the game that I was at, yeah, and I was thinking, bro, there's no way you thought that you was anywhere near in that game. You weren't. Jesus tried a little too thing, but he got dealt with. I remember it like it was yesterday.
It's fine. I don't.
It wasn't yesterday. The Chelsea game was yesterday.
Anyway,
so let's
can
get
we
back
talk about
that.
the game? Long story short, yesterday, I thought in the first half, until you scored the goal, you really struggled to cope with them defensively and offensively and in the middle and on the wingers. Is that fair to say?
I would say it's 100% correct.
That's it.
Oh, wow. We got
there. I come into the stream and I solve it in 2 minutes. It's fine.
Did I say that in the beginning? I said for 70 minutes, Chelsea were by far the better team. So next again,
77
quote me properly. 77, 78, whatever it is, quote me properly. I said once Arsenal scored, Arsenal grew into the game. So again, I don't know what we're arguing here.
I thought we disagree though, because you didn't grow into the game.
We did go into the game because possession-wise, and your team dropping backwards.
Your players' heads really dropped.
Our heads dropped, but two things can coexist at the same time. Our heads dropped, but they
because of Sanchez's mistake.
They did. The proof is that they did. Yes, because the proof is they did. Is that Saka was able to get on his left foot, whip it across, throw Sard in the back post, so they created a chance. Yes, so they did.
Yeah, but I could argue all substitutions from Poch. I'm not happy with the subs.
The subs were bad.
I agree, Chaz. I agree with you, but that doesn't take away that Arsenal grew into the game for one reason or the other.
And
the
also,
subs were
and
good
also,
as well.
and
Arsenal subs were good.
wait,
And actually, I was
one more thing.
arguing with people about Chelsea subs. Pochettino had nobody else.
One more thing.
To bring on.
Also, the other parts of this, did Chelsea drop further back in terms of your line of midfield and defense? Was it more in your half?
No, because
Tried to
Jackson
shot the
put that
game.
behind you. No.
Towards the end of the game, they dropped back.
I think
They
it's the
started
last
dropping
5,
back.
6,
I don't think we
5
dropped
minutes
back
in
from
injury
77
time.
minutes,
Not before that.
If you go back and watch it, you start seeing Chelsea was starting to drop backwards.
I honestly thought when you man scored that goal, it's more likely you were to score a third goal on that. Like, I don't know, from a position, Jackson, whatever. Then you man were to equalise.
Yeah, when it was 2-1, I agree with you. I said
when the game kept on going on, 82nd, 83rd minute, I was like, everyone could see the Chelsea players are like walking around a bit gingerly. Everyone's a bit hurt. Like, you got boxed in the head.
I literally said that to Cass when Arsenal got their first goal to make it 2-1. The way that what happened instantly after that, I said, I'm not going to lie, this is weird, because usually when Arsenal get that first goal, like I think it was Bournemouth last season is a good example of it, you could see they're going to push on and get another and whatever, yeah. Whereas yesterday, when they got their first, I was like, I literally said to Cass, it's weird, because it looks to me like Chelsea are going out to get their third now more than Arsenal are trying to get their second. And that's what I mean. Like, and again, people, I'm not hating or anything on Arsenal. Arsenal had a bad day at the office, yeah, and Chelsea had a good day. And I think we can all agree, if Chelsea continued to play the way they did for 75 minutes, that game would have ended up 2-0, I think.
You know what, Daps? I'm happy it's a good day, because it can't be a great day. We didn't get the 3 points. At the end of the day, it's a shame I can't sit here and gloat and be like, we're in this position now. Now, I hope the players take that loss, I'm going to call it.
So, sorry, let me ask the question, because Ty asked me and Cass this question, and I think it's such a good question because there's probably not a right answer. In fact, that means it's not a good question. But anyway, I'm going to ask it anyway. Who comes out of that game the happier team, right? Chelsea showing what they can do, but ultimately they're 2 up and it ended a draw, or Arsenal, who were 2-0 down and came out that game with a point? Like, who is the happier fan base?
Go on.
Fan base is different than managers, by the way. Fan base or
let's
manager?
Let's do fan base.
Fan base.
Funner.
Fan base is probably.
I'm gonna say Arsenal, man. I think Arsenal will be happy with that.
Honest,
the manager of Arsenal will be happier.
Hold on.
The fan base of Arsenal will be upset more.
Yeah, I think. I don't think it's just like
an
answer. I think Arsenal will be more disappointed because they have the expectations to come in to win. Whereas we had the expectations told from everyone else, maybe not our own fans, but everyone else, most people in this panel, except Mo.
You're included. You're included. I had to convince you that you have a.
No, you didn't have to convince me. Don't do that.
I did have to convince you. The tapes are there. We're gonna bring back the tapes.
Do you know what I would actually say? And this is a great example of that game. The Chelsea Arsenal game, ultimately, I think is very similar to when we spoke about Arsenal last season. Yeah, the expectations can change going into that game. I think if I would have told any Chelsea fan before that game you're going to walk away with a point, they would have gone, give me it now, let's not play the game, give me the point, I'm good with the point. You would have said to any Arsenal fan, you're going to lose that game before the game, they would have said, not a chance, we're taking 3 points. That was the expectations. But 70 minutes in, or maybe even 45 minutes in, I think any Chelsea fan would say, I want 3 points. Whereas Arsenal fans would have said, give us a point all day. And I think that's the thing, expectations changed. Olu, how do you feel though?
I feel honestly, I think the reality is that both managers should be disappointed, right? Poch should be disappointed in the fact that his team threw away 2-goal lead. And Arteta should be disappointed that for 7 minutes his team did not turn up. And so I think ultimately you'd have seen if Arteta went back into the dressing room for 77 minutes. And I think after we scored, okay, whatever. I think that once he took his team back into the dressing room, I think he would have given them a dressing down in terms of you cannot go and perform like that again in a big game. In fact, I guess any other team. If you want to win this league, you have to show us a level of consistency. So I think Arteta will not look at everything as a point game. He'll look at 3 points lost. And I think that should be the mentality of an elite manager. If whatever you get is a bonus, but you don't go there and perform that way. And I think Poch will turn around and say, why can't my team sustain this performance? Why do we have to make silly mistakes to let other teams into this game? Because ultimately, we're trying to build a culture of winning. And if we're making mistakes like this, other teams will punish us worse than Arsenal did. Because in the end, Nketiah had a chance, which is a half chance. But if that had gone in, that changes this changes. Went across again. If that went in, that changes the absolute narrative of the conversation we're having in terms of how Chelsea fans and I
would still come out of the game thinking that my coach screwed up. My coach screwed up.
I'm saying bro. Listen what I'm saying. I didn't say Nketiah was going to score that. I said if by freak chance that had gone in, the narrative changes, and then you would.
And if by freak chance Cole Palmer's shot goes 1 inch to the left,
of course.
3-0.
But I already said
This is like
disappointed about his performance.
This is like when Ty said earlier on, United could have beat Sheffield United 5-1. Like, come on, man.
No. I'm not saying Arsenal could have beat. No, Daps, you're getting it wrong. I'm talking about the mentality of what the manager I think would feel. I'm not saying that Arsenal would have scored that goal. I'm saying that if that goal had gone in, and he's building this sort of mentality across the.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you for 90 minutes,
if you would have won the league last season, your team's mentality would have been different. I agree with you.
Very funny. Okay, very funny. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that Poch would have said the fact that we made a mistake and let Arsenal come in and now they've beaten us 3-2 would have pissed them off. So I'm saying that they're both disappointed because Chelsea should never let Arsenal get back into that game.
No, they shouldn't.
Never let that happen. Yeah, and the standards he's gonna ask is to keep it high for 90 minutes. So there's going to be a growing that this Chelsea team needs to do, and those mistakes need to be cut out. Because if that's Man City, I guarantee you, Man City will probably have won that 3-2. Liverpool.
Do you know what I actually think? I actually think yesterday, and I think in most games of football, they are won by the team that want. I need to change this slightly. Right, they are won by the team that wants it more. But even the result, you could say, go in the favour of the team that want it more. And I think, ultimately, Chelsea wanted it more yesterday, wanted it a lot more. I think they wanted to prove a point. I think there was probably, I would love to have seen a camera in maybe the training sessions I think it's one of them games where Poch has probably said to him, this is where we go out 3 games on the bounce winning. This is where we go out and show people and send a message out there that we're back. And I think for 75 minutes, we saw that. We saw every Chelsea player running their socks off and working hard. And that's why they were 2-0 up. But if you haven't been doing that for a season and a half, which to be fair with you, I think maybe not so much this season, but definitely back in the last season, Chelsea were on the beach. They were not working hard because they knew we're not getting anything this season. So I think ultimately it probably is down to fitness a little bit, that like their match fitness, because of the fact that they haven't been working as hard, showed in the last 15 minutes and they dropped off. Cole Palmer, I want to know how many kilometres he ran yesterday, because that guy was everywhere, and that's why he came off. Like, I know people said, we shouldn't have brought off Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was blowing. He had to come off.
Why did you play Jorginho over Partey as well? Is Partey still injured or something?
Good question.
Again, I think that was mostly tactical, because Partey played 2 games for Ghana. So I think in his mad mind, he's trying to figure something out. Now, like I said earlier on, is it that he's trying to forecast that Partey's going to be injured and I need to understand how my team plays if I play Jorginho there, especially in a big game? I don't know. Again, I'm not Arteta, so I can't figure out what his methodologies are. I just think that he's experimenting more now than he did last year. That's the only thing I can see in terms of the difference between last year and this year.
That was a bad mistake. That was a bad
talking of
it was a bad mistake. Yeah.
Talking of difference of this year and last year, Man United. As much as Tyler says we do the if buts and maybes, we could have won 5-1. We could have, but we didn't. That's the thing. We didn't. We hit the bar 3 times. You missed 1-on-1s and you missed a 2-yarder and all that shit. You still didn't do it. It's still the same shit. No one can tell me. Did we all watch the game? Other than me and you watched the game. You watched the game. Yeah. How limited? How many chances were there really in terms of from system to anything? How does any?
Do you know what? Ty actually. Ty said something that I think is so true, because look, we watched the game together, and I forget the second half because I think Ten Hag made some changes that changed the game, right? But first half, Sheffield United played the better football, 100%, but they were playing football to the best of their ability, right? And ultimately, often when you see that, when you hit that final third, even if you're playing good build-up play, you just miss it in the final third. We saw that with them yesterday. But what Ty said is really true is Sheffield United should not be allowed to play that way against Manchester United. And the fact that Manchester United and the way they set up allowed Sheffield United to play that way. And that's where I actually think if Casemiro was on the pitch, probably they wouldn't have, because Casemiro would have broke up a lot of that play that was going on. They were doing a lot of nice passing in kind of just outside the area. But we were watching the game, Bruno trying to play from deep, left back and control the game was just mad.
At some point, I had to rub my eyes. I was like, "Is this Sheffield United?"
Yeah.
Genuinely, I was like, I had to remember. I thought it was Brentford. I was confused by the colours.
Do you guys want honesty? That was because of one player. It was one player on the pitch. One player on the pitch. That was all of this. Man United will play with 10 men off the ball and on the ball. It's Scott McTominay. My guy had 10 passes attempt in 65 minutes. The guy was hiding. When Amrabat had the ball, McTominay used to run away from him behind the other midfielders. And when Man United lose the ball, McTominay runs to press a centre back. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm not sure if that's on Ten Hag or that's on Man United literally. And I had notes said that Man United, I was counting the players that you're defending. McTominay was nowhere near to be found. Offensively, he scored, yes.
He's playing further forward.
Could I have instructions though? Could I be instructions?
So that's not my job then. I'm not analyzing stuff because I'm not in the dressing room.
I know, of course.
I'm only analyzing what I see with me.
I think it's Cass said the same. To be fair, Olu's spot on because Cass said something to me when I was going, what is going on? My eyes are bad. Everyone knows that. I'm squinting all the time, yeah. But I was like, is that Bruno playing on as left back? And I know I wasn't playing as left back, but whenever United got the ball, he was taking up the position of a left back, yeah, trying to control the game from there, right? And Cass goes, to be fair, that's not on Bruno, because if it was Bruno's decision to do that, Ten Hag would have gone, bro, what the fuck are you doing? So same with McTominay, that if McTominay was doing what you lot are saying, that's on Ten Hag. We have to face this in most football games, yeah, I always say with the Grealish thing, listen, Grealish is playing the way he's playing because Pep has asked him to. Otherwise, Pep would sub him. Bruno would have been further up the pitch. So it's Ten Hag. The tactics are mad.
But that's for Bruno. But Ten Hag is playing McTominay on the pitch, right? He's not asking any player to hide. That's on the player.
No. But
asking for the ball is on the player. Am I wrong?
No. That's that famous thing from Pep where Pep said to the City players, yes. I will, if you lose the ball, I won't be mad at you. What I will be mad at you about is not wanting the ball in the first place. I get it, but I think that's, look, McTominay. We've all got this thing that McTominay is like a 6 or a deep 8. He's not, yeah. He's not. Come on, Cass, you told me he used to play up top.
He's an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder.
By the notion that he even come out and said, I only played up the top a couple of times for the cat. That's bollocks. You played there a lot, mate. You played there a lot, mate. Don't do that. Anyways, one thing I won't criticize Ten Hag for is Bruno's lack. Ten Hag doesn't coach Bruno how to pass a ball. When you've gone 1-0 up, yeah, and you're finally 1-0 up and you're like, yeah, let's build something. Why are you trying to ping the ball from one area? You think you're Paul Scholes?
I know why.
He tried it.
I know why.
But bro, listen,
let him finish.
You know what it is?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Sorry, go on. Kaz, go on.
Anyways, he attempted that pass a lot in the game already, by the way, and he kept giving away the ball. See, that's something I don't understand, and that's on Ten Hag to say, "What the fuck are you doing, bruv?" And again, Scott McTominay going hiding is nothing new, and I've been saying it for time. I don't care if he scored for Scotland or he even got 2 goals at the end against Brentford. The guy is just meaty and shit, and that's on Ten Hag. Why are you playing him on merit because of Scotland? Do you want to get? I'm actually asking myself, do you want to get sacked? Because if you lose against Copenhagen, I'm out. It's unforgivable. I just know what he's been. I'm not playing players in their best position as well. That is again.
Second half we said that, didn't we? When he brought on Ericsson, who's playing players in the right position.
Yeah, when a team lacks so much already, yet you're trying to make players play in the utility type position when you've got players that can play in their normal positions in the first place. You're lacking goals. So why are you putting Bruno deeper then for control? Are you dumb? Are you mad? Bro,
So
you play a high line against them. Maguire somehow had 77 pace yesterday. Like, I just don't understand it and why he thinks playing it. Why are you getting on just for him to play long ball? Make it make sense. You brought him
just tired anyway. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't get me started on Nana.
Yesterday, yeah, Amrabat looked confused. He didn't know whether to be in the middle or the centre backs weren't splitting, and then he goes over to the left or right hand side, and he's like, what are you doing? He's asked that, what are you not doing? So I'm wondering what the hell's going on in the training pitch, because you're meant to be a tactician, mate. So it's either you or is that Van der Gag or it might be Steve McLaren or whatever. Something is not right, yeah. And it's clear as day, man.
Or they're not listening to him, mate.
So,
I'm confused.
I was going to say with Bruno, I figured it out. Bruno thinks he's actually in the film Mission Impossible, and the ball's going to explode in 3 seconds. So he's got to launch it as fast as possible off the pitch, basically, because he treats that ball like a grenade. It's literally, I look at it, there's a timer on the ball, and in 3 seconds it's going to explode. So I need to kick it as far as possible.
If he thinks I will listen to Bruno Mars or something like that, because they're not catching a grenade, they're not doing none of that. It's exploded before as soon as it's been kicked. The guy's shit. I've been saying this for time. The guy is shit, anyways.
No,
man.
he isn't.
No, he's shit. No, in terms, he thinks he's better than he is. He's a good footballer, but he's an effective footballer. But
you know, he's missing. You know, when he's closer to the goal, he creates chances. When you have ball position and he's closer to the opposition's 18, he creates chances. The problem is your manager somehow is convinced that this guy. Maybe I was wrong as well. By the way, I raised my hand. I thought that Bruno can play deeper. He can. He needs to be
I think that's a really good point.
No, but you know why I say shit, yeah? It doesn't mean he's full shit at football. It all comes down to a mentality thing. You're not as good as you think you are. So why are you tend to do things that you're not good at still? Like,
I hear what Mo's saying, though. I hear what Mo's saying. That ultimately, I think Mo's right. Like, what would Bruno's best position maybe even be in a kind of like 10 role or something like that?
Yes.
Maybe, right?
Yes, he looked all right.
No, but I do get what he's saying. This is not because he's got that he's got assists, yeah. Does Ten Hag think right now I can drop him deep? He can control games like Xabi Alonso or something. Like, he's not that player, and it does seem like Ten Hag's looking at him. You know what? And you'd look at Eriksen, think Eriksen might be able to do that role. But Bruno ain't doing that role.
Did you not see the pass? Did you not see the pass of McTominay, by the way? He flung the ball.
I said this is the definition of stat padding. So that pass was the definition of having an assist when you absolutely fluffed your line. You fluffed your line.
Bruno is the definition of a luxury player, yeah? Why I say this, he's not a 10 because he can't play back to goal when he doesn't watch what's behind him, yeah? And 2, when you play him deeper, he ain't got that role. The thing is, you need balance around Bruno if you want to make Bruno effective. Yeah, that's a luxury player, bro. He's an 8, an advanced state, and that's it. He can't play back to goal. Don't let him go deeper, but don't let him go too far up either. That's all that is. There's nothing more to it.
If I was Ten Hag, right, and I'm not, but I'm as bold as him, I would say stop watching Gerrard clips and start watching Lampard clips. In terms of, he's got a clean strike on him. He's actually a very, very clean, when he hits the ball, he gets hit. But the reality is that because he gets too involved in the game, Gerrard used to get involved in the game, but Gerrard had more accuracy. So if anyone remembers Gerrard, everyone used to say it was Hollywood passes. Same thing that people say about Bruno. He gets the ball and he's pinging it 60, 70 yards, right? For no reason. If anything, Bruno needs to model his game almost back to the way when he first came, which is he's going to make those deep late runs. Don't get too involved in the game. Find other players who are the ones who are controlling the game. So Eriksen should be that person, but he's got half a heart now.
Yeah, he's good for Portugal though. When he plays for Portugal, he's amazing. They give him a free role type of thing. He's amazing.
Right. But again, international, you're playing 2 games. You're playing 2 games in a week, so it's easy to mask your performances as opposed to playing week in, week out. And having
he beat Luxembourg and that, man.
That too as well.
Overall, in general, though, he does perform really good with his Portugal team. Like, even back when they was going through the World Cup, he was good, but he was just annoyed by Ronaldo.
Okay, but yesterday the positive for Man United is that finally, if Amrabat plays as a 6, Eriksen plays next to him, it goes back to last season's form at home. Controlled, Amrabat can pass the ball, Amrabat can break up the play, like the recovery is good, and Eriksen maybe can give you a little bit of control until Kobe Mino comes back or something. At least because Casemiro lost his legs, I think he should get benched, done, over for me. because you don't have the legs to cover Bruno and Eriksen. It showed
Casemiro will be. I reckon Casemiro will be back in for the City game.
For the City game, but overall, if you want to control games,
I don't expect
Casemiro is there. It's going to be tough.
There will be no football against City. There will be no football against
City. There'll be Casemiro and Amrabat will both be sacked probably.
And as far as I know, you actually need to play Bruno in that game, whether you like it or not, because no one else is making nothing out of something. You need to play him far up the pitch. Just let him do his thing up the pitch. That's when I can accept the Bruno. But that's when he's effective. That's only when he's effective. When your back's against the wall and you want to break. That's it. There's nothing more to it.
Bro, it's simple against us. I mean, look, to be fair, all you have to, like, what you must do against us, is not allow us to pin you back, right? That is the key. Like, you have to break up the play and get the ball into advanced positions. What you do there is, but if you don't want to lose that game, you've got to break. You can't allow us to pin you back, because so many times I've seen.
Anyways. That's happening. We know that.
Yeah, but you know what? Last season you did well, with a little bit of help from your friends.
Well, you have Onana now.
FA,
you can do what Inter did. Just pass it to Onana. Pep Guardiola's not going to press Onana.
Well, I would like to think that he would set up the way he did against Arsenal. If he does that with Varane in a team and whatever, and obviously a proper left back, then I'll be all for that. I'll be like, stop their press, because then you can find moments. But it's what you do off the ball is where City they'll punish you otherwise. So that's it. You're gonna go do that? I don't know. We don't know.
Ask you a question, Cass. Now, Maguire has played well this game against Sheffield. He read the game well, especially after the first 25 minutes. Actually, he didn't try these long passes that he used to try last season. You remember these long passes?
He did do them, though. He did do them, though.
Yeah, but not as much as because he was passing to Amrabat closer to him. Yeah, like he was giving the ball to the closest guy. He did read the game well. Physically, he provided something for you. Do you think he should start?
Against City, I'm benching Lindelof, mate. I'm not having him.
Do you know what? Do you know what I saw from Maguire though? I didn't actually say this to you, Cass, but during the game, I thought it looked like a Maguire that. Look, we all know Maguire rates himself, but I do think with everything that has happened, he probably looks at certain teams now and thinks, fucking hell, this is going to be another one. Like a bit humbled. Whereas yesterday, I think he looked at Sheffield United and it looked like someone that knew I am better than you lot. Like, he looked like, I know who I am. I'm sorry, I'm not going to come here. And he looked good. I'm not gonna lie. Him and Amrabat were your two best players. I think Maguire, and I do get what Mo was saying. There were times where I saw Maguire pick up the ball, and instead of trying to do something stupid, he was like,
Amrabat, here you go.
Even if Amrabat was behind him, he was turning around and going, "Nope, I'm not that guy.
Not my
Amrabat,
job.
You're that guy." And I thought, at last, he's maybe learning.
I'm feeling Man United fans on Twitter and everywhere, and even the people I work with. We're not allowed to give props to Maguire. Like, the guy played well. Like, I have to be fair.
Yeah,
he played well, man. He played well, but let's be honest. Like, we've all seen Sheffield United this season.
I was going to ask the question.
Yeah, they are very, very poor.
Yeah.
Very poor.
Against
the Burnley game.
That's why you have to face Bournemouth. You got every time we give somebody props, you guys.
No, it's not that.
No.
But this is the Premier League. There's only 9 good teams, and the rest are shit.
No.
Actually,
I'm saying in the context of the game,
it's more than 9, Mo.
It is not like he met his match and he made a lot of work. He didn't do a lot of work. He's done good what he had to do. He's a defender.
Yeah.
But it's not like he.
No, I hear what you're saying on that. Yeah.
So we're not allowed until he does it against City. We're not allowed to give him.
I'm not having him.
Can I ask one question, Mo? Can I ask one question on that then? You said so. Him making those short passes, was it because? And again, to be honest, I didn't watch the full game. So you probably know better. But was it because that it was the pass he was making that pass because he chose to make it? Or was it because that Sheffield United were not pressing in that much that actually it was easier to pass to the DM because no one's closing down the DM? Therefore, actually, it's logical to pass him as opposed to.
It's the other way around. Maguire used to do the other way. Maguire used to do when he had space. He used to look to the diagonal passes.
I'm not having it though. I'm not having it. I've seen this story before, anyways, where Maguire plays well for international and all that. Yes, he comes on against the lower kind of gradish teams and he plays well, and he comes on in minutes where he's needed. Yeah. Not against a Jeremy Doku or a Haaland or even Alvarez. I'm not having him. I can't.
I was going to ask.
We get stressed. They are going to press him, and he will make a mistake like last time. Yeah,
that's the question I was going to ask.
People not learn. Like, if I'm thinking away, then I will set out to nullify if he should be taking notes, if anything, off of that Inter Milan game and that Arsenal game. That's how you need to beat City if you want control at home, any sort of control. After that is Bob's your uncle, mate. So no Maguire in my team, mate. You know what I'm thinking about. No, Lindelof and Varane has to play, and I know he's going to play Varane anyways. That's why he didn't play against Sheffield. So he can play 2 games next week.
Because I mean, one thing that we saw with Arsenal,
learning, bro. He's creating angles now.
My God, he's creating angles.
You're overdoing it.
Whoa, one game when you're
Sheffield United, they're so crap.
Did you hold on? No, hold on. Let's rewind that. Did you just say Maguire is creating angles now?
Yeah.
What, bro? 3 yards
based
backwards.
on last game.
Any competent footballer can pass forward inside.
No, I'm telling you. Okay, this is gonna sound mad, right? Rafa Varane doesn't create enough angles for the goalkeeper to pass.
But Maguire does.
I'm talking about last game only. This game, Sheffield United.
I agree with that, but that's because Varane.
I'm not judging Varane Champions League. Like I'm not judging Varane.
No, but Varane's legs are gone. Varane's legs are. You're seeing the disintegration of his knees. You're seeing his knees starting to disintegrate. So he's probably not being.
You've seen that on Twitter. You saw a Twitter video and you're saying the way he runs with his bro. He's always run like that.
No, he's always running like that. To be honest. He's always awkward.
Well, something's gone on him. The amount of injuries he has, it must be something.
I was going to say an awkward run puts more pressure on the way. An awkward style of running puts more. It sounds like a science lesson. Puts more pressure on your ligaments, right? So he's probably you're seeing a decline faster than probably other defenders the same age as he is. So quality.
That's easy enough to know that. But yeah, man, Man United, anyways, the team that are actually proving most people wrong from the start of the season, including myself, you know. And I did say they'll be back. Well, I did say they'll be back after the break when I got denied. I said, watch them go on a winning run.
Can I say something? If Man United get 3 points against Man City, guys, they are 3 points behind the mighty triple winners, Man City. Let's just let that sink in.
The thing is, things can change.
Yeah, remind me, we're 10 games into the season, man.
Yeah, things can change a narrative can change quick at an early start of the season, right? But it depends how you go beyond that. And beating Man City would be a good way to go about it. But one team that I'm going about it is Newcastle.
Yeah.
And you can't deny them, man. Right now, they're scoring more goals than most people as well, even including your team, Liverpool, winner. And then they're also keeping clean sheets. So that's without like any major signings. That's without, you know, most things going on in the world right now in terms of their squad. You know, they didn't even have Sven Botman for a part. Now he's back and all of a sudden looks solid again. Trippier is the highest assister in the league. He beat G's what? He's got 6. Bro, they're looking good.
Eddie Howe's doing a mad job, man. Like,
they're smashing people,
he doesn't get enough props from anybody because I don't know what it is. He's not fashionable like that, but he settled the squad like a lot. The signings have come in. Tonali ain't been great.
Botman didn't play yesterday, just to let you know.
That's even more props.
Botman didn't even play.
The fact that Botman didn't play,
they got a solid 11. I don't know what it is. They just, I think
goals all over the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. The names of the players they've got, no one looks at them and goes, "Wow, Newcastle." But at the end of the day, it's working, and they can be very confident going into the season what they can achieve. They could definitely achieve maybe a cheeky cup, maybe top 5.
I think they should be aiming at the cups. For me, if their next Carabao Cup game, is United. If they beat United at Old Trafford, which look, I'm going to be honest, is United are holders. United won't want to go out of it. But if Newcastle beat that, I honestly think they should really, really be setting their sights on winning the Carabao Cup. I think you can never downplay a team like this, a squad like this, picking up their first bit of silverware. Like, that's huge for them. If this Newcastle squad gets some silverware, I don't care if it's the Carabao Cup. Like, they will have got their taste of silverware by February, right? And then they can start pushing on. I think if Newcastle can get top, what are we saying? Newcastle get top 6 and a cup, that's a good season for them, yeah?
No, not anymore. Champions League.
But this is the reason why I've said that, and the reason why I said top 6 is because I do a lot of shows with Pete from Newcastle Mag, right? And he is saying they just want Europa. Like, if they get Europa League football this season, they're happy again. That, like, honestly, that's what they're saying.
That's what he wants. I guarantee Newcastle owners now are saying, with the current shit.
But I'm meaning the fans, bro. I'm meaning the fans.
Yeah.
I'm not meaning the owners.
I don't think so. I can't lie. I think there's a couple in there. Maybe they can Geordie Tune for Life, NUFC and all that. They probably can tell us. If I'm looking at Newcastle right now, even if they went out in the Carabao, I don't think they should care too much. Right now, they can progress in the Champions League. They got a big game against Dortmund.
But all right. But Cass, for what we have to do with Newcastle is we have to remember, that Newcastle are on a long-term project, right?
Mm.
This is not just a couple of seasons. They're on a long-term project, Now, do Newcastle think they're going to win the Champions League? Now, if
not.
they hold on, right? Okay, so if this project, is about them, you win a cup, you then win a league. Then you can start looking at winning the Champions League. They need to win the cup first, bro. I'm honestly, look, I can only talk about City because I know City more than anything else. We won the FA Cup the season after we won the league, and then we started setting our sights on maybe being able to retain a league, maybe being able to do a double, and then it's right now the Champions League. So I get this whole thing of. Sorry, Tottenham fans, I'm going to use you as an example of getting the Champions League and go, we want to basing everything on the Champions League, and putting everything into the Champions League. And do you want to do that? Or do you actually want to build, do something? And then you have to win the trophies and work your way up, not just go, we're in the Champions League, we're having a day out, so it's great.
I think if you spin it, I think Champions League gets them more gassed. I think the fans get more gassed. And on top of that, I think it's helped their form. I don't think no one can deny that either, right? I think the Champions League really lifted their spirits. That game against Milan, they were buzzing just to even be there. After that, they beat PSG. They're thinking, shit, we're actually this shit.
That's great. That's great. But that's what I'm saying. That's great. Buzzing just to be there. That's Tottenham. Buzzing just to be there. Or do you actually want to go and achieve something?
If they scrape it to January and they buy in the summer, I reckon Eddie Howe will try and give it a go. I'm not going to lie to you.
To win it? To win the Champions League?
This is small club mentality we're doing here. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
No. Small club mentality is celebrating being in the Champions League. Big club mentality is going, I want to. Big club mentality is setting long-term objectives and going, I want to win a trophy this season. Then I want to go and win a league next season. Then I want to set the sights on bigger objectives. Not go, we're happy just to be here.
But then you just said about being Europa League and say, you know what? We'll be happy Europa League.
Yeah, that's what they told me. That's what they told me, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Daps, were you not happy when you got to the Champions League the first time?
Yeah, but 100%. No, but I'm not knocking them for being like that. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at how the City business plan has gone, and I'm looking at how we won a cup, then we won a league, then we did a double, then we did a treble, and then eventually you have to build it up. Instead, of course, I was happy, and I'm telling Newcastle. Hold on, Newcastle fans should be happy they are in the Champions League, 100%. Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but what I'm saying is, if you really stop and look at it, I'd be going right. And I'm not saying throw the Champions League, go out of it. What I'm saying is, for me, if they get a cup, you have to set objectives that are achievable. The Carabao Cup is very achievable for them, and then that's another stepping stone to where they long-term want to go.
They can get beyond that. They can get beyond that.
So can I say
define
something?
beyond that, though, Cass? What's beyond that?
I think, because like we say about Liverpool getting a DM in January can elevate themselves to go into a potential league. I wouldn't look at Newcastle thinking that they're far behind by many seasons. I look at the Premier League.
So if they get Cass, if they get what you think, what will they do this season? Yeah, tell me what they're going to do this season.
Anyways,
don't waffle. What are they going to do this season?
As I said, let me finish. Keep interrupting. So I say, why can't they, as they do in January, they go and spend. They've done it for the last 2 Januaries, They're going to go do it again. There you go.
And then what?
Tonali's out now, He's going to be out eventually anyways. They're going to have to go and spend anyways. So
and then what?
Looking at Premier League right now, and I think there is weakness within the top sides who's going to be there. I'm saying Tottenham.
So they can win the league?
No, not that.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You keep butting in. Anyways,
you want this season? What could they
land? Let me land the plane. You're just making this a whole shit for yourself.
No, you're just waffling, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, he's not, because you're talking on them.
What can they achieve this season? What can they achieve this season?
Other than obviously domestic trophies, we can talk on that as much as we want to, right? We're talking about them going back in the Champions League again. I look at the top 4 right now
this season.
Bar Man United this season, bar Man United now, I don't know. If I'm going to be totally honest, I don't know. So I'm going to erase me out of the question. I look at Tottenham thinking, how the hell are they even there in the first place? And I'm thinking Newcastle which should be much stronger, and Tottenham's run will come up eventually against all the bigger sides, and they will gain points regardless. So I look at Newcastle thinking, we're better than Tottenham. Cool. There is a full spot there. This is what I'm saying here, yeah? And now I look at Liverpool. Are they going to go spend in January or not? Can they compete and be up there with Liverpool anyways, in and around, whilst they're also in Europa League and that? So if they come out, all of a sudden, they got less games. But I'm saying they can still be in and around the conversation, around 4th and 3rd, potentially, whether it's Liverpool or Arsenal, to be fair. Right, they can still be there. They can be in that conversation, especially.
I never said they couldn't. But ultimately, what you're saying is ultimately that what Newcastle should be, their primary aim this season should be get top 4. Fuck a trophy.
No, I don't. I think they can do.
Man
United did it last year. Yeah. Why can't Newcastle go and do it as well?
I agree with you.
Short answer.
I'm saying the trophy is the key.
Short answer to you, Daps. I know. Daps' question is simple. If Newcastle has to choose at the end of the season, you win a trophy or you get top 4. What would you choose? That's your question, Daps. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. My answer to that: go back to the Champions League.
Same.
So
because Tottenham fans for.
See, Daps, it's easy. It's easy. Answer the question.
But Cass, you're basically saying.
I'm going to tell you. I have a.
Hold on. So Cass, ultimately, so my point to you is that what you think Newcastle should do is do what Tottenham do and fuck a trophy, just get top 4.
Because unfortunately, in this day and age, top 4 means more than winning a damn Carabao Cup.
Thank you.
But with a
that's it.
Hold on one sec, Cass. But that is short term, yeah.
No, it's not. What's Carabao Cup? We all cuss it anyway.
No, that's not short term. I'm telling you why. You want me to answer?
Wait, guys.
Go ahead, Olu. Answer. Go ahead.
First of all, shall I rap to light in the mood? But anyways, I know Daps likes that one. No, I do. So first of all, with Newcastle, you got to remember something, right? This for them is a throwback to what Newcastle was a couple of years back, maybe 20 years ago, right? So the feeling of getting back to the Champions League, somebody everyone felt since they had like Lauren and bloody different players playing for them. So there is that element of bringing that feeling back to the club, right? Now, what Man City did in terms of winning trophies, you got to remember, this isn't 7 years ago. You can't just follow the same blueprint. City are better. I was going to say Man United. Arsenal better. Liverpool when Man City were winning or were on the ascendancy, Liverpool were not really a thing at that time. They became better. So the reality is that the business plan for Newcastle will likely to be, we need to establish ourselves as a top floor club because that brings more revenue, that allows us to create more money for us to then. Let me finish your point. You got to remember something. In terms of how much they can spend, they're constrained by FFP. So they've got to generate more revenue to be able to bring better players.
They've done that with their sponsorship, by the way. They've done that with their sponsorship, I believe.
But this allows them to then compete to then be able to play more games with better quality players. So you don't have the likes of Longstaff having to play against PSG and then having to play a Premier League game. You can have a better quality player. He did it, but that's not sustainable in terms of the quality. So I think they're probably looking at the business plan and saying we could do what City did, but the constraints that are now in place to stop teams from just spending.
That's valid. That's a valid point.
Therefore, they have to then sustain a top 4. So for them, top 4 is important, and then ultimately they bring in more revenue. Newcastle becomes more like a bigger club globally, and then they can buy some of the.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think what Kaz Daps is necessarily wrong. Both things are actually quite good points, to be honest. But to be fair, Newcastle have only got the money fairly recently, about 2 years ago now. Yeah, they're doing very well for their trajectory so far this season and last season. Let's not kid ourselves and act like they should be looking at top 4 as a main bona fide objective. I'll put that very clearly, main objective start of the season. And that, in my opinion, a trophy is very important. And yes, it might only be the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, which we belittle as bigger clubs. For them, they haven't won that in a while. For them, winning that trophy could go a long way. And that's not the same for every club. But if they're performing to this level now without a trophy, who's to say when they get that trophy, that confidence,
they don't kick on.
Also, bearing in mind, if they win the FA Cup, they get into Europa League anyway. If they win the Carabao Cup, they get into Conference League anyway.
Can I ask a question on that? A question on that.
Why can't they do that?
Hear me out.
Before you go,
I'm going to take 10 seconds.
One quick one. No, my question will be quicker. My question is this. No, my question is this. If they won the Carabao Cup last season, do you think they'll be better this season?
Yes.
Definitely. No, not really.
No.
Really.
If they didn't make the Champions League, guys, world football now is about expanding your fan base and about social media and about the marketing, right? The Champions League gets you the more exposure than winning the Carabao Cup. Champions League gets you way more exposure, gets you way more money.
I'll be real with you again. Look, I'll be real with you again. And look, sorry, people, I know you lot all hate that I take things back to City, but it's what I know, right? And one thing that our owners had to do initially was appease the local fans, the regulars, right? Appease them. And I think Newcastle's owners are following a similar model. I get it; they're trying to become a global club, but Olu, you can shake your head, but Olu, hold on, Olu, you can shake your head, but trust me, if you ask any Newcastle fan, they will tell you that their owners are looking after the locals. Yeah, they are doing that, bro. And that's very important.
But you said appease. You got to remember something. They wanted to get rid of Mike Ashley.
More than appease.
But they wanted to get rid of Mike Ashley. Any way, shape, or form. So any ownership that was anything 1% better would have appeased them. So that's it's not the same as City. No,
it's
City
not the same. But following a similar model.
It's different. It's a little bit different. It's 13 years later. It's a little bit different. Social media is bigger. Exposure is bigger. The global fans are bigger. So
imagine this. Mbappe went from going on the plane saying, "Where is Newcastle and what is Newcastle?" to now thinking, thinking, "Shit, this is Newcastle now." All of a sudden, it's all about attracting the best players and getting a squad. The domestic trophies will come in this day and age.
Won the cup.
Unfortunately, Champions League is what attracts the best players in the world. Money, loyalty, FFP, all that bollocks is all a thing. The domestic trophies will come anyways.
Cass, what's your favorite? Hold on, one sec. Cass, what's your favorite meal, Cass?
Trophies.
No, bro. I'm asking you a genuine guy. It's not, is it though? Let's be real. What's your favorite meal? Yeah.
I mean, I recently won one, so yeah, it's our actual meal. Probably Indian food.
Right. So when you first tasted Indian, did you think, shit, I want to eat this more often?
Not really, because my dad gave me a vindaloo and my mouth was bunning up.
But you know where I'm going with this. That this squad of players, they win one trophy, you get a taste for it, yeah? And everyone knows this. Come on, I am not talking crap, yeah? When you win a trophy, you get a taste for it, especially as a squad, and then you kick on. And the best thing about the Carabao Cup is you can have that trophy wrapped up by February, yeah, and then go, do you know what? Now we can.
I'm gonna say Daps is 100% correct.
Bad example with
but
United.
If there is Daps is correct. However, if there is a choice by not making Champions League at the end and winning the Carabao Cup, the club, in my opinion, logically has to take the global exposure.
I did say at the very beginning, I'm meaning the fans, not the club.
Also, let me ask one more thing. That game against PSG when they won 4-0. Yeah. Do you think in Italy that wasn't shown? Do you think that in France that wasn't shown? Do you think that in Spain?
In South America, here people hear about it.
Oh, I know that was shown everywhere. Yeah.
So, if they win a Carabao Cup, it's not going to be that global exposure. And the thing you got to remember is this.
I hear it. But again, this is about what the players kick on.
Let me finish my point. The players are going to be the owners. What most likely they're looking at as a long-term plan is we need to build this club to a global presence. So situations such as winning 4-0 against PSG, which essentially caused big vibrations across the world in terms of this is PSG with Mbappe, there's players getting absolutely battered at Newcastle. They're thinking long-term.
They want to follow the Tottenham model. I get it.
Revenues. We go revenue, and what is revenue? We can buy more players.
Would we not agree that, look, and everything said is valid, but would we not agree that ultimately what we're saying is, and I know every model is different, but if I'm looking at this, there's two models, right? There's two options, right? You've got follow the City model, right?
Yeah, but you didn't have FFP back then.
I get that, Cass, but they've just got a sponsorship, yeah, that they're fine with spend now because of the sponsorship. I get another Champions League will add, yeah. Pete broke it down to me. But you've got follow the City model, change it a bit, but follow that kind of model where it's about winning stuff and getting this winning mentality and then kicking on and doing more. Alternatively, follow the Spurs model. Follow the Spurs model about getting as much money as possible, Champions League, being there every year, knowing deep down you are not going to win it, but being there so that you can tell people we're in the Champions League. I get it, it's great.
Well, Spurs were close to winning Champions League and also winning the league as well. They went to
they were never going to win.
And they finished second.
Close to winning the league. When?
Can we go back?
They finished second, didn't they? Didn't they finish second?
They were never going to win. Yeah, they did, but they were never going to win it.
Can we go back to
both? Bro, did you think in that Champions League at any point? Because by the way, when we played. When we played Real Madrid under Pellegrini, when we played Real Madrid in the semi-final, bro, I'm telling you now, straight away, I knew we went into that game knowing we weren't going to beat them. Yeah, that was Spurs against Liverpool in that Champions League final. So they knew they weren't going to win that.
I didn't think they were going to win it, but the fact of the matter is, they still had the chance because they were in the final. They were still there.
Can we revisit the original thing?
And we can keep talking about that forever if we want. That they nearly did.
And I'm an Arsenal fan, so I don't want to bring up Spurs.
That said originally top 6 and the trophy should be what their aim is for this season. Yeah. Now let me ask the Newcastle fans that are watching us right now: is top 6 and a trophy good enough for you? Yes or no? That's the better question. There's a few in here. Yeah. Let's wait for them to answer then.
And Cass, I actually do agree they should be aiming for Champions League and the Carabao Cup, but I'm going by what a Newcastle fan I know told me, and he said on a Newcastle channel, we will be happy with top 6, and that's why I ran it. I do agree with you. They should be aiming, even more so if they win it in February, that should be the kick on for them to go and get in the top 4. I get that, but I'm going by what someone told me.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, if I'm looking at the Premier League the way it is right now, objectives change throughout the season. I think they can 100% go win a trophy, whatever it may be, domestically, and I think they should be aiming for top 4 because I think there's weakness again this year because there's too much doubt. And if right now they look like a club that's stable and that's going to kick on and go and buy more, I think things change in January. I think it will change for them like they done last year. I think they would be like, why the fuck can we not do that? If
they're getting Calvin Phillips, so anything could happen.
All right, let's end the stream. Hey, that's a concrete thing, by the way. Just letting you guys know. It's concrete.
I know.
And to be fair, it's depth. And he might
he might suit them, to be fair. He might suit their style of football,
I want him at Liverpool. I'm being honest.
I want him at Liverpool as well.
I want him at Liverpool.
I'm being honest, innit? If anyone can recover Phillips back to his Leeds forms, I think it will be Klopp.
I think it'd be Eddie Howe as well.
Klopp could land on the moon, to be fair. So I agree with you.
I don't think Phillips is shit, but I think he would suit Newcastle. I think he'd suit their pressing football. He's a destroyer, and he's definitely got a ping on him. I just think he just hasn't had the best time at one club, and that's as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. He's still a really good player. So, anyways, we're gonna end
You there. Actually rated more than Rice, I think, don't you?
I did. Used to.
Oh, yeah. That is mad.
2000 and I think is it 2018 or was it 2020?
Yeah, he actually was better than Rice in that World Cup, to be fair.
Yeah, he was. Rice was pissing me off, but
no, in the Euros.
Was it Euros?
2021.
One of them.
It was one of them.
Not the World Cup.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
The World Cup he didn't play, guys. The World Cup he was.
It must have been 2021 then.
The 2021 Euro.
It
Euros that was delayed. The Euros that Fat Philip showed up in Qatar. You remember? Fat Philip.
Well, he loves a buffet, innit?
But anyways, why is this guy calling me an anime merchant? Yeah, I like anime. What?
Apparently you run like Naruto.
Yeah, I love Naruto, bro.
But apparently you run down the road like Naruto with your hands behind your back.
Hey, back in the day, yeah, bro. Like when I was like 12, 11. Well, not for Naruto. In anime, they all use Dragon Ball Z used to run like that as well. Like, come on, man. Anyways, even if I'm an anime merchant, TJ, I am better looking than you, and I'll get more girls than you, 100%. Anyways, guys, this is going to Mo's channel, so make sure you go over there and watch him and whatever he has to say.
Love to everyone for coming.
Love for the members coming on. Love for Ches coming on for hiding yesterday and all sorts. And we'll be back tomorrow on Monday, 3:15. Yeah, man. In a bit, man.